All right, when we go out to eat, the last thing we want is to sit in a dirty restaurant or to get sick after our meal. That's why we have restaurant inspectors to make sure that our restaurants are safe. Registered environmental health specialist Josh Jordan of the Forsyth County Department of Health joins us today to talk about how to fill out a complaint form if your restaurant outing didn't pass your inspection, and also what the restaurant inspectors actually look for. We're taking your questions as well. The number is 336-379-5775. You can get your question answered by the actual expert. All right, so, we receive all kinds of calls. We receive all kinds of emails from time to time about someone saying, this restaurant had a poor condition or they suspected food poisoning or that kind of stuff. And then they want us to make the complaint. We always say, nope, you got to make it yourself. So kind of like walk us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. We get this all the time. The first thing you want to know, and it sounds kind of silly, is find out which county that restaurant is located in. And then you want to do a search, figure out the local health department for that particular county. Then you can give them a phone call and submit the complaint that way. Or a lot of times there's an electronic database on the website that you can fill out, and you can put all your information in there as well.
All right, what kinds of things should we complain about?
Well, obviously, poor conditions in a restaurant as far as cleanliness, the way the food handlers are handling the food, food is not properly cooked or cold or hot. Those types of things are very important for us to understand. Plus, if individuals are getting sick and they suspect a particular restaurant, we need to know that so we can look into it and make sure that the rest of the public is remaining safe.
All right, so kind of let's walk through the complaint process. What else do we need to know when submitting a complaint? Because it's not just enough to say it was at restaurant X.
Right. Yeah. As much information as we can receive is going to help our complaint investigation. So being very detailed on the types of food we ate, what time did we eat, who was in my party, did they get sick, were there symptoms that they had, just as much information as you can give us the address and location, those types of things. That's going to help us to do a better investigation.
Okay, and so what happens if someone says, I feel weird about giving you my name or whatever, I just want it to be anonymous. Can they make an anonymous complaint, and what happens with that?
Absolutely. If they wish to be anonymous, and especially over the phone, we'll tell them, we won't take your information. We're going to keep this anonymous complaint. However, we do not necessarily follow up with them on those things. If they wish to remain anonymous, we ask them to contact us back if they want to follow up. We try to keep their wishes, understand those things. However, I will say if it is a food poisoning thing where we need their information, their personal information, any HIPAA related information, we're going to protect, we're going to keep it confidential. We're not going to keep that as a public record. So if anybody wishes to have a copy of the record for the investigation, we will redact that information.
Okay, and do we have had to have gone to the doctor to prove that it was food poisoning or anything like that? Or can we just call you and say, hey, we all ate there and now we're all sick?
Yeah, absolutely. We go on suspected foodborne illness all the time. It is important to know that in order to do a good, thorough investigation, we will ask questions about 3 days prior to the time they ate the food. It's miscommonly understood that the last food you ate that you got sick with is what made you sick, and that isn't always the case. So we look at the last 3 days to see if any symptoms that could have started later that would needed the pathogen to make that happen at that point. So just make sure we have as detailed as much information as we can get and be prepared to answer those questions.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So all of us go into our restaurants and we look at the grade and that kind of stuff. What is the process for that? How often do you actually go into each restaurant?
Yeah, so it depends. We categorize everything by risk, and what we mean by risk is the foodborne illness risk factors and the types of foods they're processing. So in general, we do inspections every 2 to 4 times a year. What we look at is anywhere from the cleanliness of the facility to the temperatures of the food, trying to make sure we're staying out of the danger zone, to food handling. We want to make sure that we have good personal hygiene, that our employees, food handlers, are washing their hands appropriately. They stay home when they're not feeling well. They exercise, no beer hand contact, ready to eat food, so we see them wearing gloves or utensils. All these things are things that we are focusing on to make sure we have safe food in the restaurant.
Okay. I'm thinking that you guys have it in a space where we can all look at it. I don't know how easy it is for us to look at that.
I would say most of the counties have an electronic database on their website that you can go straight to. You can enter the information of a restaurant you're interested in or any other food establishment we regulate, and it will give you previous inspection history, and it will include all the detailed information as far as what we see and how we grade them. And that's ultimately how they get the grade that you see at the restaurant that's posted on the wall.
All right, I want to ask this question. Are all like A's equal? Because like sometimes you see like a 92 and sometimes you see like a 98 and you're wondering to yourself, okay, this place only serves coffee and not real food and this person really serves all kinds of food. Do we need to take that into consideration?
That's a great question. And yes, I think you need to understand there are a lot of things that go into the inspection. Just the inspection alone has over 56 items that we mark off. So it could be a broad range of different violations that we see. And depending on the types of foods, is the more processes of those foods, probably more likely that they can make a mistake. So yes, I think you need to take advantage of the report system that we have on our website so you can look at the detailed information and make that decision for yourself.
Okay. All right. So we're taking your questions when we come back. We're also going to be talking about food trucks. A lot of you are going to be seeing those around in the next couple of days or so as we go to the holiday. And we want to make sure that we get your questions answered. So 336-379-5775.